So several years ago, I was having trouble sleeping. What would happen is I would go to bed at like 9 or 10, and then a few hours later, I would wake up at like 1 in the morning or 12:30 or something like that. And I couldn't fall back asleep. So what I would do is I would get up and I'd come out in the living room and I would turn on the TV. Well, I don't have cable, right? I'm like too cheap to pay for cable, and besides, I don't really watch all that much TV anyways. So what I would turn on is there's this broadcast network called MeTV, which is all these old like nostalgic TV shows, right? So at like 12:30 or 1 in the morning without cable, there's not much on TV, right? So I turned on this MeTV, and depending on what time I got up, usually it was around the same time, so I'd see pretty much the same shows every night. One show I used to watch all the time is this show called Perry Mason. Now, depending on how old you are, you may never have heard of Perry Mason because the show was like from the 1950s or something. It's like black and white. Now, Perry Mason is a really interesting show. It's starring Raymond Burr, who you may have heard of. Raymond Burr, he was a famous TV and movie actor. He died, a while ago. But so it stars Raymond Burr, and he plays this guy Perry Mason, who's like this lawyer in Los Angeles, right? Okay, so I like Raymond Burr. He's a really good actor. But the show is like the stupidest freaking show in the history of television because, I mean, the plot is like the same every single week. This is the plot of Perry Mason. Okay, so he's a lawyer, and the show starts off, and he's like going to visit a friend or something, right? Or he's going to the movies. He's going to a friend's house, and he stumbles across like a dead body because it's always about murder, right? So he stumbles across this dead body at his friend's house in like the hallway or on the way to the movies or something. And so he calls the police come, and now because he like discovered the body, he's like involved in the case. He's like a suspect. Like, hey, what were you doing here where this dead body was, right? So he's a suspect. But then the police realize it was somebody else, or like, the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the husband or something of the dead person. So they end up arresting somebody else, right? Now Perry Mason he's like a witness, he's a suspect. They arrest somebody else, and Perry Mason ends up defending this person that's accused, right? So Perry Mason is like a suspect. He's like a witness, and now he's defending the person that's being accused of this crime, right? Like three things in one, like no conflict of interest or anything, right? So now Perry Mason is now defending this person that's accused of this crime. Okay, so the crime takes place like on a Tuesday. Like Perry Mason goes to visit his friend on a Tuesday, and he stumbles across this dead body, right? Now the trial takes place like the next day. It's like Wednesday, and now they're at trial. I mean, like real life, it's like a year later, right? They go to trial, but no, in Perry Mason land, like the person is accused of murder on a Tuesday, and they go to trial the next day on Wednesday, right? So here's Perry Mason. He's in court, and the district attorney is always the same person. It's always the same district attorney. Now this is like Los Angeles. I'm sure they have more than like one district attorney in Los Angeles, right? But it's always the same person. Perry Mason is always against the same district attorney that's charging his client with murder, right? So the trial starts. Now Perry Mason is like questioning the witnesses, but he's also like a witness because he was there. He like discovered the body. And he was also like at one point a suspect. So he's like a suspect, a witness, and he's defending the person accused of the crime, right? So he's like questioning all of the other witnesses and stuff. And every single episode, he like pulls something up, like out of the blue that no one knew about. Like, aha, aha. So he'd be like questioning a witness or something, and he'd be like, "Are you aware that this tissue was found on the scene with your lipstick on it?" Like apparently, like no one knew about this tissue with the lipstick on it. He like found it himself and stuck it in his pocket. He's always like coming up with something like out of the blue. No like discovery process for evidence or anything, or no like informing the prosecution of uh, extra evidence or anything. He just like whips it out. Oh, look at this. Or he like will confront one of the witnesses or something, and totally unethical, weird stuff, but it's just like out of the blue, and then so the trial, this murder trial, it lasts like 1 or 2 days. Maybe it recesses overnight. It never lasts more than like 2 days, right? Not like in real life, like the trial lasts like for months, on and on. But no, there's like, two witnesses and they question him. Perry Mason's also a witness, and he's also like, a suspect, and he's the lawyer. But anyways, so it's a really cool program. If you have a chance, you should really watch Perry Mason.